Good morning, guys. Well, it's morning for me. Well, today I'm not really going to the gym. I gotta go fill up. My fuel light was flashing when I started it up here, so I'm pretty low on fuel. Today I wanted to talk to you guys about something that's kind of been on my mind. Because I was out for a couple weeks, almost a month, I think. And I figured this is a good one because it's something I've been experiencing here. What I want to talk to you guys today about is momentum. Now, I don't know if you guys have ever been in, like, I don't know, I'm obsessed with watching like motivational speakers and trying to learn from them and everything, because about a couple years ago, I started to really care about where my life goes, whether or not I'm successful, and part of that, over the last couple of years, I've learned that one thing I struggle with is momentum. And I listen to a lot of speakers, like I was saying, and I always hear them talking about momentum, building momentum, maintaining momentum. It's one of those words that if you say it so many times in a row, it starts to lose all meaning, So I'm just gonna come over here real quick, put some gas in, and then I'm gonna go on a little ride. I'm not going to the gym today. I do have to work later, but I'm gonna talk about momentum and just share my experience and share what I've learned and hopefully help you guys out in the process. So let me get some fuel here real quick. Alright, so let's get started here. So they always seem to talk about momentum, but they never really explain too much what they mean by momentum. Or like, what does it feel like? What is it, what is it in your life? How do you know if you have momentum or not? So I was just thinking that this is something that I have recently lost, and I finally felt what they were talking about. So I want to share it with you. So what is momentum? So if you have a goal, now this video is going to be dedicated towards the people who are watching me who have like a goal that they want to achieve, and it's a pretty like large goal, or like a lifestyle change or something like that they want to have, that takes time, and it's dramatically different from where you are right now. It's just way out there, something completely different, right? It's like you're challenging yourself. If you're challenging yourself, if you don't care, I mean, you don't have to watch it, it's okay. But for those who do care, so momentum is when you are actively, consistently making progress towards that goal. Like, let's just say, for example, I'm personally trying to develop, multiple sources of income. I'm working my full-time job for my stable income, but that by itself is just a job. It just pays the bills, and there's not a lot of extra that can be done with that. So I'm trying to work on my YouTube channel. I'm trying to, teach myself how to trade and invest. And, when I have the capital for it, I really want to dabble into getting, real estate, renting, being a landlord and stuff like that. There's a bunch of different things that I want to achieve, but the last one is like the big lifestyle change, because that takes a lot of time, a lot of money to get started and stuff like that. A lot of education. And so in my situation, momentum is, like, am I learning? Am I developing my channel? you know, and just anything that's making progress towards having that lifestyle that I want to have, right? Whew, I missed second. So just any consistent, but it's the consistency. When somebody says that they've lost momentum, it basically just means that they got lazy. You know, I lost momentum. I was gone for a while and I lost momentum. You know, I come back and it's difficult to get back into the same routine. I got lazy. So, you know, that's kind of like how you would know. This is going to be a rambly video. It always is. That's why it's right in Ramble. So if you're working on something and you hear people say, you know, you just gotta build momentum. Momentum can be built with the simplest of things, as long as you are, you know, making even a small little tiny step towards where you want to go. Like, say I'm working on bodybuilding, right? You know, momentum for bodybuilding is going to the gym or just exercising, right? As long as you are consistently exercising, you have the momentum towards that goal. If it's financial, if you're trying to build multiple sources of income, it's a little bit more difficult because there's a lot of foundational work and personal work, like personality and mindset work, that has to be done, you know, to achieve that. Because, like, let's be real, if you or myself at the time right now don't have multiple sources of income, it's purely because of who I am. You know, it's you know, it's my own fault. It's not a situational thing, it's a personal thing. You know, I don't have multiple sources of income right now. I'm working on building it, but in order to make that a reality, I have to change who I am. I have to change my mindset. I have to change my daily routines and everything, because otherwise those things don't grow. So building momentum towards that is, am I making progress towards, am I educating myself? You know, am I a better person today than I was yesterday? You know, and losing momentum for all cases is literally just pure laziness. You know, I know there's times when the day does not go the way that you need it to go, and you can't make progress towards it, but that's not necessarily considered laziness, because, you know, you're actively trying to make it happen. Even if you can only go to the gym, or you can only go for a walk, or you can only run for a couple minutes. I mean, like, if you're squeezing in as much as you can in the time that you've got in the situation you're in, then you're still working on your momentum. You know, you're not losing it. Losing it is literally just, you know, you have the time, you have the resources available, and you just don't do it because you're lazy. So I've been lazy lately. That's why this is something that I wanted to talk to you guys about. It's because not always in the past, when I would lose momentum, I would recognize it. This time I did, because when I got back and I tried getting back into the routine of, you know, making my videos and watching the market and reading the news and watching, like, earnings. You know, earnings have been huge on the market right now. I find myself playing Vampire Rising, because it's a fun game and my friend introduced it to me, and I end up playing a video game rather than working on these things, and that is pure laziness. That's why I'm thinking about, you know, implementing Matthew's Man Cave again and maybe start streaming some video games. At least when I'm lazy, it's still working for something, but I don't know. Whatever. So that's what momentum is. That's what it's like to lose momentum. You know, and literally, like, it is the most important. My voice cracked, holy crap. It is the most important thing that you can do if you're trying to achieve something. It's just, okay, figure out exactly what you want to achieve. You know what it's going to take to get there, And your daily should not be like, I'm not there yet, I'm not there yet, I'm not there yet. It's just figuring out, okay, so how can I build momentum? Because I'm going to tell you, just like momentum, once it's going, it's easy to maintain. But once it's stopped, it's hard to rebuild. It's hard to get it going again. So when you start working towards your goal or whatever, even on the days, there are going to be days that you feel lazy. I get those all the time. It happens a lot. I'm still learning. I'm still working on it. But you have to try to just do something little to you know, just don't lose it completely, because once you've lost it, it's really difficult to build it up again. And that's kind of what I've been facing, and that's why I wanted to speak to you guys about it. So that's my little momentum speech. There's a little bonus that I want to throw in here at the end. Just let me get to where I want to go. This morning I woke up and I was reading Matthew chapter 25. I'm reading through the book of Matthew, not just because my name's Matthew, but because it's a good chapter. It's a good name. In Matthew chapter 25, there's two parables that Jesus is talking about to his disciples. Now I know this is way off topic here. Trust me, this will tie into momentum. And this part's for the people who believe in Christ and want to live a Christian life. And I know that I have some of those here on this channel because I've spoken to some before. And I think you guys might find this interesting. And it does tie into momentum and tie into setting goals and achieving things. So, in Matthew chapter 25, there's the first half is one parable about being prepared for, because he's going to come, the Lord's going to return when you least expect it. The second half is the parable I want to talk to you guys about. So I'm going to totally butcher this, but you guys can read it if you want to. Read the whole chapter. It's very good. The two parables are very important. It's about always being prepared, and the second half's about using the blessings that God has given you. So the second parable in Matthew chapter 25 is of a wealthy man, or lord, or whatever, leaving on a journey and returning later. And he has 3 servants. This wealthy man gives each of these 3 servants a pretty large amount of money. The first servant received 5 talents. The second servant received 2 talents. And the third servant received 1 talent. And there has been some historians that have kind of seen a talent. They've kind of like calculated that a talent would be like a year's worth of wages. So you can probably imagine yourself if your boss gave you, a year's worth of wages, right? Or 5 years worth of wages. That's be pretty significant. Like, 5 years worth of wages, depending on what you're making, that could be anywhere between like $200,000 to $500,000. That's a lot right now. That's pretty good. So you imagine. Okay, so the wealthy man, he's got his servants, and as he was, my road's closed. Boo. Oh wait, no, it's not. Maybe it's not. Okay, so he's giving his servants those talents and leaving, and then coming back. And what he's expecting is that the servants, while he's gone, use that money to make more money to give to him when he comes back. He's a rich man. He's a businessman. He wants them to make money for him while he's traveling, so he's, keeping his momentum going. And some people might look at that and say, okay, that's greedy, asking them. But I mean, like, okay, so anyways, but the parable goes like this. The servant that received 5 goes out into the markets and trades, and he makes a 5 talents profit with those 5 talents. So he has 10 talents, right? While the master's gone. The second, who got 2 talents, likewise did the same thing. He made 2 talents of profit with the 2 talents he got. The third servant, who only received 1 talent, say only, it's only a year's worth of work, he was scared to lose it. So what he did is he buried the money and waited for his master to return so that he can have it safe. Just keep it safe. Just bury it. He was afraid to lose it. So, when the master returns, the first and the second servant, they give their talents to him and saying, look, this is what I've made with the blessing that you gave me. Here it is. The 5 gave him the 10 and said, here, look, I made 5 talents with the 5 that you've given me, and same likewise with the 2. I'm trying not to make this too complicated. Anyways, the master says to those 2 servants, he says, my good and faithful servants, you have used what I have given you to make more, and in return, with the little that you have, you shall be rulers of many. With the little work that you have done, you shall be rulers of many. So basically, as a reward for, I believe the parable goes, I don't know exactly, but I believe the parable goes like he let them keep their profits. Here, you can have what you got. And the parable is basically like, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me not get too far here. This is really rambly, sorry. The third servant basically goes, say, look, master, I was afraid to lose the money. I was scared. So I buried it, and here's your talent back. And basically the master says, thou wicked and slothful servant. Slothful meaning lazy. Thou wicked and lazy servant. And he takes that talent from him and he gives it to the guy who had 10. So he gave it to the wealthy one, the one that was now wealthy. And I'm trying not to kill this story because I'm terrible at telling it. So the parable is basically, I'm going to try to wrap this up. So he cast the servant that just buried his money. He just hid it and was scared. He cast him out into the dark, and he says there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Typically Jesus only says the weeping and gnashing of teeth when he talks about hell. Now I don't think he's saying, okay, if you're not profitable, you're going to hell. That's not what he's saying at all. A lot of people say that, and I think personally that's not 100% correct. But what I believe that he's trying to say is that every man or woman on this planet is given blessings. Not everyone's blessings are of equal value or equal size, but everybody has blessings. And the 3 were given blessings, different values. One was 5, one was 2, one was 1. Now, both the 5 and the 2, they both did the same thing. They went out and they made profit and they came back. Their blessings were not equal, but the reward was the same. They both became rulers of many. The reward was the same because they used their blessing to build, to grow. The one that was afraid, and he basically buried his blessing and ignored it because he was afraid to fail. He did not have a reward, instead he had punishment. He was cast out. So every person has a blessing, and we are called to discover these blessings, to use these blessings, to build on these blessings, to be active, to be, to be profitable, to just to be active. You know, stop sitting on your hands. Don't be scared. Trust in the Lord. Trust that He's going to follow you. He's going to guide you. You know, use those blessings that you are given actively to build, to work towards whatever goal, to work towards whatever you can, you know, to help others, to whatever it is. You know, I don't know. I hope what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to tie this in with the momentum thing. You know, we're all given blessings. Not everybody's blessings is the same, but that doesn't matter. What matters is, what do you do with the blessings you're given? You know, and you know, that's kind of why it's important to, tying it in with what I was saying before, it's important to, you know, build momentum and maintain your momentum. I know this is really, really roundabout, but I hope I'm getting a point across. I really do. Don't sit around. You know, don't sit. I mean, like, you know, do the things that you're responsible for. If you've got a family, take care of your family. Family is going to be the most important. You know, as a man, like, you know, that's the number one. Well, you know, the Lord's number one for me, but here on earth, right here, the most important thing for me is making sure that my family is taken care of, you know, and happy and healthy. That's super important for me. I don't know what street I'm going to. I think I'm just kind of wandering. This place is really beautiful over here. This is the other side of my town that I don't typically drive around. This is the side, I mean, this is kind of like my inspirational side, you guys. I drive around over here because it's beautiful. I mean, the houses are beautiful and everything, and I just love being over here. But yeah, so hey, to try to wrap it all together, I rambled on about two things. Momentum, I'm gonna try to wrap this up, like, seriously. Momentum is, you know, achieving or working towards a goal consistently, making consistent progress towards your goal. All right, that's what momentum is. It's very easy to lose momentum, and it happens all the time in many different ways. You know, most frequently we get busy, we get distracted. Things happen in life that cause us to kind of derail from our path that we're trying to work at. And if you're away from it long enough, it can be very difficult to get back on it. You know, it's a skill to be able to get back on the path. You know, it's a skill. That's the discipline of it, you guys. And that's kind of like the discipline we're all trying to learn. It's okay, because life happens all the time and there's nothing we can do about it. So when life happens, can you get back on path consistently and effortlessly? Can you keep going? Can you keep the momentum going? You know, and then the parable that I was trying to teach trying to explain from the from the Bible, you know, is talking about using the blessings that we have received, and, you know, and recognizing that we have all blessings of different sizes, and the reward in life, on earth and in heaven, the reward from recognizing and using your talents, your blessings, it's all going to be the same. You know, if you want to like, don't know how to explain this. I'm going to wrap this up quick, because I don't think I'm supposed to be parked here. If you're trying to achieve something in life, achieve a goal or something, you know, and you know, just keep going. I don't know what I'm trying to go with this. You know, hey, I think I'm gonna wrap this up, because I was trying to say something like motivational and it's not working. You know, so there's your laugh for a minute. Gonna embarrass myself for a bit. You know, whatever it is you're trying to do, you know, if you ever get derailed or you ever get off course, you know, being able to recognize it is going to be the first most important part, because, you know, like, if you don't realize that you're losing your momentum or going the wrong direction, I mean, it could be years and years and years of progress. And the way it works with momentum is, as you build it, it gets faster and bigger, and it keeps going, it keeps building larger and larger and faster as you go, as you keep it rolling. You know, it's kind of like the snowball going downhill. You know, as it's going downhill, as a little tiny little snowball, it's not picking up very much snow. But as long as it keeps rolling and it keeps getting bigger, the larger it gets, the more snow it picks up, so it grows faster. It's the same thing with our progress in life. You know, and like, you know, the easiest way to do it is to be able to recognize the talents that you have. You know, not everybody is intended to do the same thing. You know, doctors are really good doctors, surgeons are really good surgeons, because that's their calling. I mean, you can tell the difference between a surgeon who took his job for the money versus a surgeon who took his job because that's his passion. You know, you want the one who's doing it as a passion. They love their job, they want to save people's lives. You know, the one who's doing it for the money, they're going to be lazy and sloppy and stuff like that, right? So, you know, find your blessings, you know, and nurture them, use them. And you know, you know, what I take from the parable in Matthew, just to wrap this up and finish it finally, is that, you know, the one who was lazy, the one who just buried his talent, buried his blessings, the one who was lazy, you know, he said he was scared. Everybody says they don't do things, and it's usually because of a fear of some sort. It's not going to be exactly the same, but it's always kind of boils down to being afraid of something. And if we do that, our blessings get taken away from us. It gets taken away from us, and we were cast out, and in this says, there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. So the way I see it personally in my life, the way that parable has affected my life, and I'm hoping I can get this across to you guys, is that do not be lazy. Don't be lazy. Because, you know, if you are, your blessings will get swept out from under your feet before you know it. And as always, it's a lot more difficult to start building and rebuild once you've lost it. That's the hardest part. What you want to do is keep the ball rolling. So if, for example, you're working on let's say bodybuilding, because that's something I can relate to. It's a long, tedious journey. It's difficult. But if that's something that you want to work on, you know, if you stop going to the gym, I'm sure if you've got started, you can recognize that it's a lot harder to start going to the gym than it is to keep going to the gym. Oops, this is a dead end. Turning around. See if I could do it without putting my foot down. Hey! So, you know, it's just like going to the gym. So if you stop going, if you get lazy or whatever, the blessing of the ease of going to the gym, because you've built that habit, you've built the momentum, that blessing gets swept away. It's a blessing. If you have a routine of going to the gym, you need to realize that push to go to the gym is a blessing. That ease of going to the gym, that routine that you've built, it is a blessing, because you know how hard it was to build that routine. So don't be lazy. Life happens sometimes and makes it difficult to work on these things, but as long as you are doing even the slightest thing to keep the ball rolling, to keep the momentum growing, you won't lose it. It is recognized, that your efforts are recognized. I hope you guys have a wonderful week. I'm thinking that I'm gonna try to do videos like at least once a week, or you know, a couple weeks or something like that, because that's what fits my schedule the best. It is difficult. I've got a lot of things going on right now in life. I don't want to talk too much about my personal life, aside from what I'm trying to explain for like motivation or whatever, just to build a community, build friends and everything. So it is a little bit difficult to do like 2 or 3 videos a week right now. I hope that's alright with you guys. So okay, I'm gonna end this. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, a wonderful week. Peace.